In the new promotional video released by the Chinese Navy on August 7, 2024, the most eye-catching part was the scene where the Type 055 large destroyer launched a certain new type of tactical missile using its Hypersonic vertical launch system. Judging from the shape shown in the footage, the tail of this tactical missile is a cylindrical solid rocket motor booster section, and the upper part is shaped like a sharp sword, with several control fins at the tail of the upper part. Its shape is different from any existing tactical missile of the Type 055 large destroyer. This is believed to be the ship-launched hypersonic vehicle equipped on the Type 055 large destroyer, namely the YJ-21. The YJ-21 hypersonic vehicle was first shown on the promotional video for the Navy Day during the 73rd anniversary of the founding of the Chinese Navy on April 23, 2022. However, the video was later deleted. At the 14th Zhuhai Airshow in 2022, a foreign trade version of the ship-launched hypersonic vehicle YJ-21 appeared in the Aerospace Exhibition Hall. The domestic version was believed to be called YJ-21, but before the exhibition began, the relevant model seemed to have been removed or replaced, leaving only a model name, once again proving that this model was still relatively sensitive in the previous years. Now, this hypersonic vehicle has made an appearance in the Navy's promotional video again, and it is presented openly and generously, which to some extent proves that 2 years later, this model should have reached the stage where it can be made public. We can also make a brief introduction to this ship-launched hypersonic vehicle based on the promotional video and some other information. The model name has already been mentioned. Experts have had a debate over whether this type of ship-launched hypersonic vehicle is equipped on the Type 052D modified destroyer in addition to the Type 055 large destroyer. In fact, this debate is not very necessary. According to the information obtained during this year's Navy Day, different Type 052D destroyers have different situations. This is sufficient to prove that at least some Type 052D destroyers have completed the test launch of this missile, and perhaps some others have not. But considering from the technical aspect, since the YJ-21 ship-launched hypersonic vehicle can be adapted to the tactical missile launch silo of the Hypersonic vertical launch system, then whether it is the Type 055 large destroyer or the Type 052D destroyer, using its vertical launch system to load this type of ship-launched hypersonic vehicle will not have any problems, at least in terms of technology. After all, as a ship-launched hypersonic vehicle with an extremely long range, whether it is a Type 055 large destroyer or a Type 052D destroyer, relying only on the ship's own maritime surveillance radar, it is difficult to provide effective target guidance for this hypersonic vehicle. It must rely on other ISR ALINT situation awareness electronic intelligence information collection platforms to provide target indications. For example, like the Navy's maritime surveillance aircraft, helicopters equipped with maritime surveillance radars. Of course, better surveillance methods also include high-altitude and high-speed unmanned aircraft, such as the YJ-21, as well as various low-orbit and geosynchronous orbit reconnaissance satellite constellations, etc. For instance, the Navy's maritime surveillance aircraft have a wide reconnaissance range and strong detection capabilities, which can quickly discover targets in the vast sea area and promptly transmit relevant information to the ships equipped with the YJ-21, while helicopters with maritime surveillance radars, although their activity range is relatively limited, can also play a significant surveillance role within specific local areas. The YJ-21 high-altitude and high-speed unmanned aircraft, with its outstanding flight performance and advanced reconnaissance equipment, can obtain more extensive and accurate intelligence. Numerous low-orbit and geosynchronous orbit reconnaissance satellite constellations can provide comprehensive and detailed target situation awareness for the launch of the YJ-21 from a unique Perspective in space. These reconnaissance and surveillance systems with diverse models and types will first accurately identify the position of the strike target, and then transmit the target information to the surface vessels through the tactical satellite, communication and data link systems. After receiving the target information, the surface vessels form the corresponding firepower elements, determine whether the strike can be carried out, determine how to strike, and then launch the ship-launched hypersonic vehicle according to the firepower plan. After launch, the mid-course correction is carried out by the relay platform, and the terminal guidance is carried out by itself. The flight speed of this hypersonic vehicle is extremely fast. It actually takes only about 10 minutes to complete the entire strike process. The maneuvering range of the target is relatively narrow, and there is no need for corrections like subsonic anti-ship missiles. Therefore, in terms of the technical performance of equipment use, as long as the Type 05 to D and Type 055 large destroyers are equipped with vertical launch systems, tactical satellite communications, data links, fire control directors, and corresponding fire control software, then they can support the use of the YJ-21 hypersonic vehicle. It's just that perhaps some destroyers have completed the relevant technical transformation and conducted live-fire training, while others haven't had the chance to conduct live-fire shooting yet. Judging from the current move of the Chinese Navy to officially disclose this type of ship-launched hypersonic vehicle, I am more inclined to think that China should have something more advanced. After all, as far as the current situation of the YJ-21 hypersonic vehicle is concerned, there is still a lot of room for improvement in technology still in terms of the shape of the YJ-21 hypersonic vehicle. In my opinion, the shape of this missile is somewhat similar to a scaled-down DF-26 ballistic missile, considering the depth of the Hypersonic vertical launch system. It is estimated that the length of the YJ-21 is approximately 8 meters. The diameter is less than 800 millimeters. And it is speculated that the volume of the solid rocket motor propellant column is about 5 meters long and 700 millimeters in diameter, which is approximately 1/8 of the volume of the DF-26 ballistic missile propellant column. And the charge amount is not large. Looking again at the warhead shape of the YJ-21, this missile adopts a double-cone hypersonic glider. This type of hypersonic glider belongs to the first generation of gliders. Its advantage lies in its relatively simple manufacturing process and relatively low requirements for the aerodynamic shape. However, the technical disadvantage is that the lift-to-drag ratio performance of the glider is average, and the corresponding gliding and maneuvering and trajectory changing performance is also relatively ordinary. Otherwise, China would not have launched the DF-17, a hypersonic vehicle using a complex multi-curved waver-eyed or warhead, after introducing the first generation of hypersonic gliders with double-cone warheads. After all, with a more advanced glider, who would choose a double-cone warhead? Therefore, from this perspective, although the performance of the YJ-21 hypersonic vehicle is good, it has only just crossed the technical threshold of ship-launched hypersonic vehicles. Analyzing from its solid rocket motor propellant column volume and charge amount, let's assume that its shell material and the ratio of the solid rocket motor propellant column are similar to those of the DF-26. Then, its first stage shutdown speed is approximately around 2,000 meters per second Mach 6. At the same time, it should also be considered that as an anti-ship hypersonic vehicle, the terminal speed of the YJ-21 cannot be too fast. Otherwise, it will have a certain impact on the terminal relay correction and the active radar's search for the target. It is roughly less than 8 times the speed of sound at ultra-high altitudes if this speed is converted into the range. It is approximately equivalent to a range of about 700 kilometers. Coupled with the possible 20% or so gliding range bonus of the hypersonic vehicle, I believe that the possible range of the YJ-21 will not exceed 900 kilometers. Of course, considering that the mission undertaken by the YJ-21 may be more arduous than that of the DF-26, such as using a propellant with a higher specific impulse and using a composite material shell to reduce the weight, etc., then its range, I think, is at most about 1,000 kilometers. So, even from the simplest aspect, if the YJ-21 ship-launched hypersonic vehicle is to be upgraded, it is actually relatively easy to achieve. Take the shell. For example, using a composite material wound shell can effectively reduce the weight and improve the performance of the aircraft. In terms of the solid rocket motor propellant, choosing an advanced neat nitrate ester plastic IZ polyether propellant can significantly improve its efficiency and thereby increase the range by 1/5 or even 1/4. For example, the composite material wound shell has the characteristics of high strength and low weight. Compared with traditional materials, it can significantly reduce the overall weight without affecting the structural strength of the aircraft, creating conditions for increasing fuel or improving flight performance. And the advanced neat propellant has higher energy density and combustion efficiency, which can provide a stronger and more durable power for the aircraft, thereby effectively increasing the range. This improvement can not only enhance the strike range and deterrence of the YJ-21 on the battlefield, but also further enhance the combat capability of the Chinese Navy. In terms of the warhead design, directly adopting a complex multi-curved waver-eyed warhead similar to that of the DF-17 and optimizing the gliding performance at the same time can increase the range by about 10% again. This is equivalent to raising the original range of more than 1,000 kilometers of this type of ship-launched hypersonic vehicle to more than 1,300 kilometers at once. Moreover, after using the waver-eyed warhead, the gliding performance and the maneuvering and trajectory-changing flight performance of the warhead will be significantly improved, which is more conducive to the missile's maneuvering penetration. In fact, this kind of similar upgrade has already been reflected in multiple models. So, in my opinion, the YJ-21 is only the primary version of the ship-launched hypersonic vehicle. Subsequently, there will inevitably be a waver-eyed hypersonic vehicle similar to the DF-17 appearing, and the current official disclosure of the YJ-21 seems to confirm this point anyway. With the appearance of the YJ-21 ship-launched hypersonic vehicle in the promotional video, it has finally confirmed that China has again equipped and formed a combat-capable powerful weapon for ships. Of course, I don't think it has a mutually substitutive relationship with the YJ-18 anti-ship missile equipped on the 055 large destroyer, or even the YJ-83 anti-ship missile equipped on the 05 for a frigate. For example, the YJ-18 anti-ship missile equipped on the 055 large destroyer may have unique advantages in certain specific scenarios, such as the strike accuracy and effect on specific distances and specific targets. The YJ-83 anti-ship missile equipped on the 05 for a frigate may have its own characteristics in terms of cost and usage flexibility, while the YJ-21, with its hypersonic speed and strong penetration capability, plays a key role in more challenging combat environments. They respectively adapt to different combat requirements and strategic considerations, jointly constituting the diversified and multi-level anti-ship strike force system of our country's Navy. Very simply, this kind of sea-based hypersonic vehicle is extremely expensive in the first place. If a composite material shell and high-performance propellant are used, then its cost will completely reach the level of medium-range missiles and cannot be used casually. Once deployed, it must be a fleet salvo to strike the opponent's aircraft carrier. Secondly, the kill zone of this hypersonic vehicle is relatively far, referring to long-range rocket launchers. whose kill zone is often around 50 kilometers or so. This hypersonic vehicle might have a kill zone of around 100 kilometers. This means that it is simply unable to deal with short-range targets. In this case, dual-speed missiles like the YJ-18 or subsonic missiles like the YJ-83 are still needed to strike short-range targets. After all, in terms of the engagement principle of surface warfare, corresponding ammunition should be used when facing different targets. When facing an aircraft carrier, a hypersonic vehicle is used. But when facing a small unmanned boat, can a hypersonic vehicle still be used? Therefore, I believe that the emergence of the YJ-21 hypersonic vehicle, in terms of the equipment system, only perfected the main battle equipment pedigree of the Navy when conducting surface warfare, further enhanced the upper limit of the Navy's ability when conducting surface warfare, and there is still more potential to be explored. The equipment and capability pedigree of naval surface warfare still requires other types of anti-ship missiles to jointly complete. In conclusion, it is hoped that at the 15th Zhuhai Airshow this year, we can truly catch a glimpse of the true appearance of this naval ship-launched hypersonic vehicle.